spelled the same way forward and backwards. Like, it's not an anagram, but, like dad. Like, there's a word for that. You should learn a bunch of them and relate them to your dyslexia. My favorite is race car.
Is that really? Wait, let me...
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
That is... I'm still, like, spelling it in my head. Let me write it down so I see it.
Yeah, write it down. Write it down. Just write race car.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is the same, but that's crazy. All right, so on this episode, James is going to keep talking about my dyslexia. I'll just go cry somewhere as I host it. But no, so one thing I did want to ask everybody, though, is what's one thing that you guys well, I know somebody ate a burger earlier, Christoph, for their first thing out in 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
But and then in America, you can't even say like I missed anything because everything was still open. So, Kent, what are you gonna do for your first day out?
I've been working since the 20th of April, so to me, it's day out since then. So.
But what are you gonna do? Like there's other stuff. Just
probably
working.
Stay home to avoid people.
Kent's like, I already hate people.
No, I mean, it was the best month of my life. Now it's just like I had to do grocery shopping a Saturday at 6 p.m. I wanted to kill humans. not a couple, just the entire planet. Like,
I mean, they're already trying to do that in America. Like, the pandemic wasn't enough, so whatever.
I mean, I actually believe that, well, now that the restaurant has opened and they probably have some food stock, if you go to eat in a restaurant now, you're not going to die by the coronavirus, but salmonellosis. Is it how you say that in English?
Salmonella?
Fucking hard to say.
Chip!
What's up?
Not much. So, Chris,
Hey.
just James and Lindsay living in their car still since
Hey,
this morning.
just James.
We're
and
camping.
Christoph are here.
I don't like you living in your car, man, because you don't have your guitar with you.
Yeah, I do. It's underneath the pillows.
But hey, Chip, we were just talking about what's the first thing we're gonna do after this whole ish is over.
Oh, probably go out for a nice steak dinner. I think is the first thing I want to do.
Oh yeah.
I had to go for a vegan burger today.
Go to a real restaurant.
Oh no.
If you're going for a vegan burger, you might as well just stay home. What are you talking about?
So I've been trying to be good because my wife's forcing me to be vegan.
That's right.
So I'm trying to be good about it. Damn, we went to a burger place to get a vegan burger, and it's the best burger place in that town.
Is it also the only burger place in that town?
Maybe. It could be. But it's like American hamburgers. It's not like this bullshit on a bruschetta and like the burger looks like ground beef. Not ground beef. What's meatloaf? Meatloaf.
Okay.
Yeah, it just does. I don't know. When a restaurant says they have a vegan burger, it just sounds like a lover telling you they're still a virgin. You can't believe it. You just can't. Yeah. You're like, nah. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
That is, I mean, you're not really lying, but that's crazy. That's crazy. So, Chip, are you feeling like, I know last week you said you were still kind of recovering from the whole COVID thing, but are you feeling much better?
Yeah, I mean, I've basically down to like sleeping about 10, 11 hours a day, which, at the high point I was doing 20 hours a day, so it's much better.
Oh, okay.
Is anybody else hearing an echo?
Yeah, I'm hearing a big echo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute my mic and see if it's me.
Okay. It was you. Or wait, no. Or is it Christoph? Put your headphones on.
I think it's Chip. He's the one that just came in.
Yeah, because I mean, I
Okay,
never-
Alpha, was my mic off?
Okay. Oh, nope, it's still there. Chip, will you mute your mic for a second? Hello? Who?
It's still there. It's a delay. I think it's from someone listening to the phone on speakers and the phone's picking it up.
I don't know, because yours didn't do it.
Yeah, mine's not doing it either. But
Okay,
Mine either.
now it's good, I think. Is yours good, James?
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Yeah, sounds good
Okay.
too.
Cool. So hey James, are you ready to work out do some of your new material?
Yeah, so Lindsay and I wrote some jokes down last night. They're not great. They're unfinished, but if you guys want to hear them.
Sure.
So I was talking about how me and my girlfriend, we both work, but we work different hours. She's a teacher and I'm a stand-up comedian. So she works from 9 to 3 and I work from 9 to 3. I already did the bad pickup lines. I'm not going to hit on those. Oh my God! So
you only told me those jokes. I was the only one online.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't know if I can get this one out. Okay, so we've been thinking about starting a not bucket list.
Ooh.
Just a list of stuff that's not on your bucket list, like dying alone, or knitting your own sweater, or having to lick stamps, or being fucked in the ass by 5 guys. Not just 5 random guys, like the whole corporation of 5 guys. You're just a party favor at their company Christmas party. Wait a second. Maybe that should be on my bucket list. Can you imagine a store that only sold fans?
Oh.
It's an OnlyFans joke. I feel like some people would get it. It might not go over in Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to appeal. I don't want to appeal to the smart crowd anyway. I want to appeal to the dumb crowd. They're loudest. Oh, wow, this one hurts. My girlfriend was a whore before and after I met her. I know I talk about my girlfriend a lot, but she's amazing. What can I fucking say? I can't go to therapy and be like, I don't know, doc. My girlfriend only wants to have sex 25 times a week. And that bitch keeps taking breaks to cook and clean. That's all I got, except for the stuff I already covered, but that's all from last night.
Yeah.
Woo!
So you guys did a writing session last night?
Yeah, every night, I think. It's kind of an ongoing thing.
See, I feel like I just can't write things out. I wrote some like I told you guys, I wrote a bunch of stuff and then I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's what it looks like. Like I put it on these little post-it notes and I can't make sense of them.
Yeah, I have the same.
So
but,
what you're saying is you need to write more and not write less. You're abbreviating too much stuff that you can't decipher it later.
No, I've written full sentences. They just aren't like in comprehensive English. So you know.
I showed Jay Marie yesterday. When I take notes, I write down everything I'm gonna say, even the pauses where I want them to laugh. They don't always laugh, but that's where I want them to laugh.
I'll do the same.
Yeah.
And then whenever I think of something funny, I write it down because I know if I don't, I'll forget it.
Right.
You know,
same.
whether it stays funny when I reread it or not, that may change, but I'll always be able to try to pull something out of it later. I'll try to turn it into a joke if it wasn't funny or whatever.
Yeah, I need to start doing that because well, you were one of the first people that messaged me about something, and I was like, did I say something about that? And you're like, no, that shit was funny, and I'm like, oh god, I got to rewatch that, the series. But then I remembered what you were talking about. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
I can't wait till they open up comedy clubs and I can try to start doing some crowd work, like with an actual audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
ask Ken about his
I feel
crowd
that.
work and how he just knows
I mean, it's
people and
not
calls
my
them
fault,
boys.
but most of the time it's true that my jokes actually sucks and my crowd work is better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where I put it.
But yeah.
That's, oh man. You know what, guys? I was like holding on to this beer, but got really cold, and now I put it down. I don't know where I put my beer at. It's weird.
You know that in Belgium that's a crime, right?
That's right.
Is it?
Losing a beer, it is a crime.
Oh, it's right here, babe.
Capital offense.
In America, with white people, that means something good is about to
It needs to
happen.
get open.
Here, hold my beer.
We call that alcohol abuse.
Oh, I thought I wrote that in the text. So my wife came in trying to take beer. She didn't bring the bottle opener thing. Jesus, worthless. No, I'm just kidding. My wife is very wonderful.
I just did a Zoom comedy show that was
Do some of your stuff, Chip.
all black comedians. 13
I
all
tried
black
to sign
comedians.
up for that. I think they looked at my picture.
Yeah.
I still have my winter picture up. God damn it. Oh, so all right, so I know all this bullshit's going on, right? But I have to talk about like some of the funny things I've seen out there. So if you're racist, you might just want to like turn your volume down on your little stereo thing you're listening to, and
Because
then I'll give you a
the
thumbs
last
up.
thing you want to do is offend a racist. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I'll
Racists
give you
have
a
feelings
thumbs up,
too.
but it's safe. So I think the best thing I've
Racist
seen
lives matter.
on Facebook as a defense for all the police brutality is, there's bad pilots that crash planes, and there's good pilots. That was the comparison to bad cops. And I laughed because I said, you realize when a pilot crashes a plane, it's usually not their fault, first off. And on top of that, they're not trying to, like, if you crash the plane, everybody dies.
Right.
Including the pilot. Right. And they're like, what do you mean?
So what you say is, what I mean is, bad cops, when they kill somebody, they should kill themselves as well.
Exactly.
just like pilots, bad pilots do.
It was that was probably the most insane logic. And then this one lady argued about how, well, not all cops are bad, and I don't think racism exists, and we're talking about racism and all this stuff. And she goes, I don't think it exists. Like, my father-in-law, he pulled a gun out on a cop, and he didn't die. Everybody in the thread was like, was he a POC? And she's like, well, no. I was like, I feel like you're missing the point.
Right.
I actually Googled definition racism and just put a picture of it on there.
Is it a flag of America?
Right.
Exactly.
That's great. No, he wasn't a person of color. Oh, see how easy it works.
You see, like, and then so I'm trying to get better at like the wittiness of everything, especially when it comes to racism. Mm-hmm. So my other joke was, so a lady posted, hey, like 2 or 3 months ago, this kid, so I'm 35, a couple years younger than us, got beat almost half to death, and then pissed himself. And we're like, oh, okay, did he die? And she's like, no, but he pissed himself. And I said, well, and she goes, there was no news article or anything about it. And I said, well, it's probably because it's behind the last 10 years of dead black people trying to be published.
They'll get around to it once they get through all of the funerals.
Who wants to be on national news for pissing themselves, though?
That's right.
The guy probably wouldn't sign the release.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be on national news, you want to at least have shit yourself, you know?
You want to at least die.
That's right.
Exactly.
But I mean, if you're not going to die, you want to at least shit yourself. I mean, being yourself,
At the minimum.
that's not even trying, you know? That's
Right.
like, you
And
know.
as a police department, do you want that to be released? Because you didn't even kill anybody.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. It hurts the whole department's
that's
reputation.
right.
Exactly.
Did you see that article about Jake the other day? Yeah, his suspect pissed himself. Oh man, he's been phoning it in for years.
He's been messing this game up. What the
That's
hell?
right. he's,
But-
he's messing up our stats, man. It's like,
Right.
how the hell are we
Dude.
gonna make bonus? How the hell are we gonna make bonus?
I also just love how it's not about racism to some people. I'm like, oh, this is so weird, because I was telling James earlier today and Lindsay that it's funny, like when I tell white people that, oh, hey, my dad's white, and I show them a picture of my dad, myself, and my little brother, because that's a picture I always show, they're like, they want to reach for that connection with me, and they're like, you look just like your dad, you look like him more than your little brother. And then I have to say things like, yeah, but that's so weird because that's his biological dad.
That's right. or you make it awkward. Oh,
Right.
do I? Because you know we never did find out who was the guy that raped my mother.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Wow,
take
that's
that
good.
one. I'm taking that one, Chip.
It's like,
But okay, so I've been to Luxembourg many of times. I only see Indian people and white people. Are there a lot of black people in Luxembourg?
No, not at all.
no.
Huh.
Oh,
Man.
actually,
Really aren't.
yeah, but in the shitty area.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that part. Like,
But
if you
there
want
are
to
no-
buy illegal substances, you would go to a street, and in that street,
Huh.
Yeah,
like everyone's
Yeah.
black.
No,
yeah, but it's fun.
Okay.
It's not black from Africa. It's black from Cap Verde, which is like a Portuguese colony.
right.
Yeah, it's Cabo Verde, the
Ah.
island.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in South Africa is the Indian people that are racist to me because I'm black, and I'm like, dude, you are darker than me. It's like, what are you talking about? I mean, I look like a white guy standing next to you. What do you mean? I'm black. Like,
Oh shit, that's
like,
crazy. That is
all right.
true though. You
It
are
is true.
crazy
It's
black,
exactly
yeah.
true. I mean, that's real experience. I'm like, yeah, okay. And so shut up and sell me the ostrich, you asshole.
I feel like those you know how like first there was COVID, right?
Yeah.
And then there was the murder hornets. I
Mhm.
feel as though like we only talked about the murder hornets for like a couple of days because then
Right.
George Floyd died, and then
Right.
they're like, they got this shit under control. Things are already falling apart. We don't need to help them.
Somebody, I think it might be China is sending all these ducks over to an African country because of the locusts. Because ducks will eat, like a pound of locusts a day. So we totally forgot.
Shit.
We totally forgot about the locust epidemic that's rampant through Africa. So it's like we've just had so many pestilence, earthquakes. It's like we're just running out of shit. It's like nobody's really you expect to see a person on every street corner going, yeah, this is the end of times. This is it. Come on, man. How can you guys not think so? Look at all this shit that's happening. It's like.
But that's the crazy thing is like, I mean, in Luxembourg, Germany, I feel chill over here.
Everything's quiet over there?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not in Luxembourg. I did just hear drag racing in Kent's house, but Kent probably lives in that drug infested neighborhood he was talking about.
Were they what kind of dresses were they wearing?
Kind of.
Any good pair of high heel shoes you saw?
Oh God. But yeah, so I don't know. Hey, oh wait, are your guys' gyms opened up yet?
Yeah, yesterday it opened. I was the first one in my gym. I was very proud.
Yay.
Which gym do you go to?
Factory 4.
Oh, okay.
Are they open in America?
Yeah, think you're asking the wrong people.
Some in California have opened. In Texas, DC is still pretty much locked down.
Texas.
We're going into phase 1 on Monday, which will be some of the restaurants. It's sort of scattered, but
that's fun because it's phase 3 that only opened restaurant here.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah,
it had to actually be safe here.
Phase one is a certain group of, and now a couple of my clients, because I do IT work. Like I was at one of my upscale boutiques. They sell high end, designer clothes, and they won't get to open until we get to phase 2. So it's like they're waiting.
I think what they should do is like how they did the stimulus thing for small businesses and corporations. Is like corporations could apply right away on like April 1st, and then small businesses had to wait till funding ran out and apply on April 10th.
That's right.
So they should let the small businesses open up for a month. and then tell the big corporations to open up.
Before even the stimulus package finished, I did on my radio show. I talked about what was in it, and what the Republicans, because the reason that Nancy Pelosi was trying to hold it up is this particular part of the corporate bailout. They wanted to put in language that said that if a company took the bailout, that they could not pay top execs more than 50 times what the average worker at the company made. And the Republicans fought it, and they put in this algorithm that said, okay, top exec, anything above $3 million that you made last year, you can only make 50% of that. So what winds up happening is that, like the CEO of United Airlines, he made $7.5 million of personal salary off of the corporate bailout. And when that money went through, they laid off 17,000 people. So it's like, so that's the stuff that's bullshit. Is that this whole, what they really should have done if they really wanted to take care not only of everybody and the economy, they should have taken all of that money and they should have given it to the average American, because what's going to happen is those people are not going to do. They're not going to stash it away in a bank account. They're not going to buy back stock. They're going to spend it, and if they spend it, then it goes into the economy, and that's what drives the engine of capitalism is buyers, and that's what the government keeps forgetting, is that without buyers, you don't have a capitalistic society. So it's like,
that is very true.
It's like, give the money to the people who are actually going to spend it. Don't give it to the guys that are going to buy stock or hold it away. Like, But, what do I know?
I mean, you're just a normal consumer. So
That's right.
I'm
just a black guy. What the hell do I know? Come on.
That is true. That's probably what they were thinking when you said that. Like, that black guy doesn't know shit.
That's right.
But all he does is
they're like, oh, you know what? I could almost listen to him if he wasn't black.
Hey, you know what though? That's one thing I've been enjoying about like teleworking is sending out emails and actually being listened to, because my name for some reason is always confused with Jeremy. So they're like, oh shit, Jeremy knows what the fuck he's talking about.
This dude is really tearing it up. This guy, he's on the ball.
Yeah, but in real life,
he's a go-getter.
So.
Wish we had some women in the company that were like that.
Exactly. It's very true though. It's very true. Because I've gotten kudos for a lot of things because I work with a lot of different people. So some people have never seen me or whatever. And it was funny because I'm like, oh shit, it usually takes me about 3 weeks of everybody failing at their idea before mine gets implemented.
That's right.
Thank God.
All right, what do we got next? Well, there's only this last one.
Right. So
all right.
Hey Chris, what have you been working on? Did you want to go through some of the stuff you were working on earlier?
I just have some. I haven't got anything like good, funny. I was doing this. I had this
I
bit
mean,
about.
James went, so it's fine.
Ouch. Hey, I wrote a new joke while we were sitting here.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Go ahead.
Christoph is going. Christoph
No,
is
no,
going
no,
to
no. Let James do it. I'm sure it's
Oh
better.
gosh.
Oh, no, I didn't want to interrupt you. It's real quick. I just wrote there are a lot of white people from South Africa. That means there's a whole subculture of white African Americans.
That's right.
A bunch of people that listen to hardcore gangster polka. Sagging their khakis.
That's nice, though.
That's
nice.
it. Go ahead. I'm going to think of more.
Well, I just one joke, but I'm not sure about the delivery. I want to say that laughter and COVID are very similar. Both comes out of the mouth. Both is infectious, and a mask does nothing to stop it. I have to work on the way I want to.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's good.
You know.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. What? Just say it like that, but like, just say it like that.
Because I can just imagine if you're doing that in front of an audience and they're all wearing a mask.
Just say it
They'd
like
be
that,
"Arr."
but make it funny.
Instead of saying,
Exactly. Exactly.
instead of saying laughter is like COVID, say COVID is like laughter. So they actually get the word laughter because sometimes your jokes get cut off at the beginning when you're doing Zoom, and they know what COVID is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't hear laughter. I had asked my girlfriend what you compared it to.
True. Yeah, makes sense.
I want to do this one about my sister and I. When we were kids, we used to have MAGA hats.
I'm gonna Google that, obviously.
Yeah, my mom got a.
Make America great again, Chris.
No, ours were "Mom always gets mad." Is what our hats were. So we bought them ourselves and we wore them.
Did you burn them?
We voted her out of office.
I don't. So I guess like for a majority of people, I think in comedy, except for that Dave guy this morning, he's probably a Republican. But like, we're mainly like supportive of like more liberal views. But what would you guys do if your mom was like, "Hey, I support MAGA"?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would you react? So I don't know. Who's the opposite of the gay Luxembourgian president?
Right.
Like, what? Christoph.
Opposite.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, but the opposite.
So what if Trump came into Luxembourg and said, "I want to be your president," and your mom was like, "Yes, that's what I want."
That's my guy. Well, you mean after I bought a shovel from Home Depot, what would I do? Is that what you're saying?
Christoph and Ken. That's what I want though. Is what would you guys think like about your parents?
Actually, I have no idea how is the politics in Luxembourg, but I know my mom wanted to vote for the extreme right in France. But I also know that she's too lazy to actually go vote.
Well, that's the thing is populism is breaking out everywhere. So Trump is not he's not an anecdote. He's not just an American thing. All of Belgium, all these places are having issues with
yeah, that's very true.
Be right back.
Yeah. So it's becoming epidemic.
For the moment, you are the only country who were dedicated to the mistake.
Right.
Here at the last round, we were like, maybe next year, next time. We're still not ready for that shit. And you were like full beam on.
That's right.
And for another 4 years, probably.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's gonna be for another 4 years because
oh, definitely.
Like Chip said, the dumb people will come out and vote.
Yeah.
Well, it's all going to depend on where this stuff falls with the vote by mail. Because if the vote by mail, because a lot of states are trying to push it now, if that happens, not only will we get probably the largest turnout percentage-wise on votes, but I think Trump and a lot of Republicans are going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I mean, like James will be like, I'll have to go back to like being PC at work, and you know.
I think we should abolish all these political parties, and everybody should just vote for whoever they think would do a good job. Like, there's this guy Dave down the street from me. He's head of the neighborhood watch. I'm just gonna write him in.
That's right.
Vote for my mom.
Actually,
She's good at settling disagreements.
fucking James. But yeah, I don't know, man. If they don't do the write-in stuff, there's going to be too many people that are actually considerate of others, you know, and that always lies on the Democratic Party. So,
yeah, it could get ugly.
So,
I'd vote for The Rock.
The Rock.
Dude, so would I. Just imagine this. Like did you see my post about The Rock?
Maybe.
Okay, so I think it should be The Rock, okay, and then Cat Williams, like for real. Like every tweet would be like a joke.
Wow.
Like I wouldn't have to like think about, should I consider doing that?
Right.
Like, is it like, is this an actual option? Like, you know, the people that actually took disinfectants. It's weird. So, but I and then Cat Williams, you know, like he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he made fun of Paralympics, man.
Right. But don't you think it?
It's pretty funny though.
Don't you think it would be a better matchup if it were The Rock and Kevin Hart, since they're good friends and you know they know each other and
they do all those movies together.
Yeah. Yeah,
but Kevin Hart has already went on national TV and said he is not going to run as his running mate. That's all I'm saying. He's made his mind up.
I want a candidate that's going to do polls over Instagram.
That's right.
Like, should we bomb Syria? Yes or no?
Right.
That would actually be. But you
By the
know
way,
what?
do you think?
So what I want though is I don't want a yes or no poll. I want yes or no and then a write-in. So like if a lot of people wrote in Kentucky, then you know we could let Syria slip this time, and you know, it's like
Oh shit!
I like the idea of Mitch McConnell walking out of his house going, "What's that noise? Oh shit!"
I'm writing that joke down.
Chris, what were you saying?
No, have you guys seen Kevin Hart's specials on Netflix or anywhere? Do you guys think it's funny?
I think some of his stuff is funny. I like a lot of his older stuff when he's doing stuff like about, trying to pick up girls. Keep look at me. Don't look at the baby seat back there. We're talking here. We're talking here. I like some of that stuff. Yeah.
You like his stuff?
Some of the stuff, yeah, I think it's funny.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I don't know why people like it. He's two specials on Netflix. I mean, I like the guy in his films and stuff, but I'm just watching the special and like, holy shit, why are there 20,000 people laughing? I don't know, it's just not my humor, I guess. I don't know.
That's Kevin Hart?
Yeah,
but his specials, you have to watch his actual earlier stuff. His specials.
Yeah, his earlier stuff is good. And I mean, it fits his character. Like I said, it's a lot of times what people are laughing about is the idea of stepping into that person's point of view, and what they see as funny, And I think they can relate to that. It doesn't feel phony.
Luxembourg, you might not be able to step into that point.
No, that's the thing. I relate 0.0 to anything Kevin Hart says about his kids, about his wife, about his wealth. You're so far from my world.
But you're so tall. You just keep bumping your head on the ceiling. It's like you couldn't step into his shoes. It just wouldn't.
That's true.
That is very true. I think I'm taller than Kevin Hart, actually.
That's right.
Dude.
When you think about it, Kevin Hart's taller than Kevin Hart.
That's true. That is true. Holy cow. Oh, I'll say I loved Kevin Hart, but there were a couple things that he did. I watched are you watching his actual stand-up stuff, Chris? Or are you watching that show?
stand-up stuff.
Stand-up specials, yeah, stand-up.
A lot of his newer stuff is just too long.
Mhm.
Like he tells stories that go on forever, and just by changing his voice, he thinks he can get a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Punchlines don't really hit.
His
Sometimes
fans must love him because it's really not funny.
That's because he got all that money. See, once you get all that money, you start to think that you can do no wrong, and that's when the trouble happens. You know,
but he has a special. He has like it's not his stand-up, but it's like I don't fucking know. It's like a reality show following around Kevin Hart. But so
is that the one where the woman got her hair caught on fire at the party? She's in the bathtub. And
I think
somebody
that
was
was
smoking,
one of
and
the
it's like
episodes.
he turned around 1 second, and her hair's on fire. It's like, what the hell?
It was one of the episodes.
Yeah, it's like,
but he like said some stuff, and I'm like, that's really fucked up. Like, you know, and you kind of see how far removed he is from being humble. So,
well, I mean, he lost the Academy Awards because of some of the stuff he said, right?
Capital.
Yeah. But I mean, like James will never have that problem of ever being humble, so he doesn't even know how that feels.
I like that you call me out a lot. Does that mean we're friends?
No, it's because you're the American white guy.
My friends call me Just.
I want to call you.
Ken out.
I want to call you JJ. Can I call you JJ?
Yeah, that works too. Or not Jeff.
Not Jeff.
I like to call Ken out, but then I always have to say sorry because I feel bad because he has this face.
Oh. No, it's fine. It's part of the show at this point.
I was thinking the other show when you kept talking about how just not Jeff, and I was thinking like, yeah, because Jeff's his Dick's name, you know, that was really, really weird, you know. It's like Jeff's what my girlfriend named my dick, so just anything like Jeff.
Oh God. But yeah, so Chris, how was your burger today?
It was pretty great.
Did you make
I've been
yourself?
making no, I went for a restaurant. I mean, I've been making a lot of burgers myself, and I mean, they've been pretty good, but just if somebody else cooks it for you, there's always this I don't know if it's the secret sauce they put on the burger or him spitting on it with extra love, but there's something.
Where did you went to get the burger?
Snooze.
How big was the burger?
Not bad.
Pretty big. It's like 10 ounce, I think.
10 ounce? Okay.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's a sports bar. They only do burgers.
That's a huge ass burger.
That's a good sized burger. Yeah. Because I've been thinking about burger sizes because my wife went out and brought back like 12 pounds of ground beef. Because you know there's a little bit of a meat shortage every once in a while, and so I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You're 12 pounds. I said, you know, that's 48 burgers. And she goes, 48 burgers? I said, yeah, you know, like a quarter pound burger? And she goes, you have never made a burger a quarter pound. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, you know, I think the smallest burgers I've ever made have been like a third pound. She's right. It's like, I have never made a small burger. So like 10 ounces, that's about right. 10 ounces is like the perfect burger size.
1/16 of a pound.
Right. You know, it's like, you know.
That's awesome.
It's like, yeah, they only do quarter pounders at restaurants and places like that. Everybody else is making really big burgers at home.
I got a burger in Germany once, and it came out, and it was the size of the dinner plate.
Oh, wow.
Bun and everything. You had to eat the thing with a fork and knife and take it home and put it in your fridge and finish it the next day. Ridiculous.
Did they butcher the cow at the table side just so you could see how
Jesus, for real? Why the fuck would it be that big?
But that was the first thing I thought about when Don Shula died. My dad lives in unincorporated Dade County in Florida, and so we used to go to Don Shula's steakhouse all the time. And I always thought it was funny because it's outside of Miami, and the restaurant was right beside a farm that had cows, you know, running around. And I was like, damn, that's some fresh meat. It's like, what the heck?
Oh shit. So that's one thing I'm really like grateful for that I'm deploying because I get to eat meat because I won't be around my wife.
No.
For how long are you deploying?
Only 1 year.
Okay.
You'll be away from your wife for a year? So she gets she's gonna stay there, or is she gonna come back?
No, she'll stay here. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy over there. Are you crazy? She's a virgin. Shit.
I was
Even if
thinking,
she wasn't working here,
I thought
I'd
maybe
be
she
like,
want to
nah,
come.
you're
I thought
staying.
maybe she want to come back to Minneapolis, pick up, a plasma screen or something.
That is amazing.
It's a good time to pick up stuff cheap, right?
It is actually.
By the way, to me, a year sounds like a fucking long time for someone who's not used to deploying.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's only 1 year. It's like, what? Only 1 year?
So I
But
guess it is kind of a long time. Like my wife and we kind of did like the lesbian thing. We got married in less than a year, but we didn't live with each other the first year. So, you know.
we didn't want to fuck anything up. We don't want to mess up the relationship, Like...
Right. Exactly. So, but yeah, so I don't know, but she'll be able to visit. It's not like one of those the real ones,
No.
I always say there's a real deployment and then there's the fake ones,
Right.
in the military.
So where will the deployment be?
In the Holy Land. I think it's gonna be cool.
Luxembourg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
But no. So, but I mean, yeah, a year is actually a fucking long time. But, I was kind of hoping it was just a 6-month deployment. So, because one thing I realized about myself is I don't like humans. Like,
welcome to the club.
You know what, Jay? You know what it is? I think you're not slicing them thin enough and putting enough seasoning on them.
That might be it.
That might be
Do we also
problem.
have to put them in 10 ounce to make a perfect burger out of them?
Yeah, perfect 10 ounce.
Hey, deploying sucks, but it's also amazing. You get to experience something that not very many people get to do.
That's right.
And
surviving?
I mean, yeah, that part too, but I mean, this is gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be super easy, but compared to like the other crap I've had to do, this will be, like.
I told you, you're gonna come back with a whole set of Jew jokes.
Well, that's it.
I know. I'm super excited about it.
I have a childhood friend who was actually in the Israeli army. He was in their special forces, and he actually got out on the medical because he did a high altitude jump, and his chute opened up too late, and he broke both his legs. But I can remember when we were kids in New York. My mom moved us down to Memphis because she was afraid that I would become a thug, and he became a thug. So his parents packed him off to a kibbutz in Israel, and that's how he wound up in the Israeli army.
Wait, he was Jewish?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know
wow.
Jewish people. I have Jewish friends.
Oh, do you? That's so weird.
I'm still waiting for the punchline.
So end of the story. Be a nice kid, or you're gonna end up breaking your both of your legs.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the punchline, James, is once he broke both his legs and couldn't get away from me, I fucked him in the ass. I mean, it was just horrible.
Ow!
I don't know what's worse, getting both my legs broken or that.
That's right. made the pain from his legs feel like nothing.
Oh my gosh. No, I think I'm super excited for things to start opening up because I haven't gone to the gym, so I can't even do push-ups right now because my body's so
because you don't have a floor that you can push.
Exactly.
Push your hands against.
No. I refuse. To do
everywhere else but the gym is anti-gravity, so I just can't do any push-ups.
I can't. It's fucking crazy.
I can't do push-ups because of gravity.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like before this whole COVID thing, like I was like, I learned how to bench press. I started lifting weights a lot, and I was like, I don't even have to do push-ups. I don't have to do all this dumb stuff. And then all of a sudden COVID happened. I did try to do push-ups one day. And yeah, I was like, I think I told you guys this. I couldn't videotape myself doing it because after 10, I was at muscle failure. Like,
But
oh,
if you
shit.
did it at the gym, it would be no problem. Is that what it is?
No, if I had a bench press, that would be no
Oh,
problem.
okay. So
Like,
okay. So it's not push-ups. You
yeah.
just want to do the same, work the
I
same
try to
muscle,
do.
but you want to push up. Okay.
Yeah.
I try to do at least one sit-up every day, and that's when I get out of bed. Sometimes that doesn't even happen.
I knew it. So, today I was very grateful on my run. I didn't have to poop today. Every time I go
Oh
I go
yeah,
over
forest
5 miles,
pooper.
I gotta poop.
There you go.
Well, this is what actually happened. Is I just drank an entire 8-cup pot of coffee and made sure I pooped. So I learned that
Yeah,
on a YouTube
I do
video.
the same.
You
I drink a lot of
I was
coffee.
wondering.
Yeah.
I was
No,
wondering
but I
why
mean,
I
I
didn't
just
get any
drink
pictures
coffee.
of your poop recently.
That's right.
Is it because you stopped pooping on the run?
She's making progress. She's making progress.
I did send James the poop picture. He couldn't find it, but
That's right.
it was there.
I didn't know what I was looking for.
That's right.
What kind of girl sends a shit pic?
So
You should send that to any guy that sends you a dick pic. Just send
Did
him
you?
back a picture of your turd.
That's cruel.
James, is your email a Gmail account?
Yeah.
It got filtered. They immediately filtered poop pictures out automatically. Check your
Hey,
spam.
How
Check
do
your
you
spam
know that?
folder.
Just James, if you guys want to go on there and follow me, that would be awesome.
Check your spam folder. It's probably your spam folder's probably full of shit. Just
Shit
check it.
pics.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm not going to give her my email.
No, I just sent it to him on Facebook.
Facebook.
But the funny thing is like when I send it to like people like James who don't work out,
Right.
he doesn't see it. He just says, "Oh, what a beautiful picture." He didn't say that, but he said, "What am I looking at?" But my running friends, they see it right away. They're like, "Holy shit, you didn't take a poop before you ran?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, the last time I saw Jay poop, it was on Facebook Live. It was horrible. It was horrible. She did get 35 likes though, so I guess all things considered.
That's very true.
By the way, did you guys ever weigh your poop? I know it's a weird question, but
how do you weigh it, Chris?
well, that's the thing. The other day, I went on the scale. I was 94.
Okay.
Then you pooped?
I went for exactly. By accident, I just went on the scale. I pooped, and it was a pretty fucking massive poop. And afterwards, I was 92.3.
Wow.
So I lost 1.7 kilos.
Wow.
So that's like 4 pounds of poop.
What?
I was a bit
disappointed when I do that.
All right. See, I
feel like I left a huge shit, but I only lost like half a pound, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's like a premature baby you had, Chris.
No, it blocked the toilet. It was massive. It blocked the toilet. I was really worried.
Now that you said that, that is such an easier way to do it because I'm tired of shitting on a piece of wax paper and just taking it to the kitchen and weigh it. It's just,
I've just been shitting straight on the scale.
You know what's impressive about that is that you could shit small enough that it fits just on the scale. I would just overflow everywhere. You know, it's like, my wife would be like, "What is this? My poop, 2 pounds, but half of it's on the counter. So how do you know it's 2 pounds?"
Take some of that off and put it on the scale.
That's right.
Hey, Jay, Lindsay says you can send her your shit pics.
I'm so excited now.
I'm offended that you sent it to him and not me.
I told James this. You haven't friended me, and James has all his friends blocked, so I can't even search you. I'm not a Facebook creep, but I can't like do everything.
Hey, Lindsay has some jokes. Can she go?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
No, I didn't. Are we doing jokes? I didn't know we were.
Yeah, just do your notes.
I came so unprepared. I came so unprepared. I hate this. Okay.
Exactly.
Go, Lindsay. Go, Lindsay. Go, Lindsay. Go, Lindsay. Go, Lindsay.
I have very few. Jay Marie already heard what I got.
I haven't heard it.
That's okay, but
I haven't heard
else, I'm not a good critique. Like,
yeah, I'm always looking for material to steal. Come on, Lindsay. Come on.
That's
give
why
it up.
I'm friends with
Give it up.
and Chris.
Hey, I'm not worried about people stealing my jokes because I'll just heckle the fuck out of them. Wait, I didn't say that right. I'm not worried about people stealing my jokes because they're bad.
You're just James. You're just
Yeah.
lucky I can't play guitar, or I'd be all over the James Bond thing.
Who's saying that?
That's me, Chip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, I saw last week you complimented my James Bond song, man. I appreciate it.
I think
That
it was
song
really,
was written for one person, and that's
really.
you.
Thank you.
Dude, okay, so Christoph and Kent, have you guys watched James
No,
Bond?
I don't know where to find it.
I haven't heard the question.
Have you heard the
Have you
James Bond
watched-
song that James wrote?
No,
Not at
Have
all.
you watched any of the James Bonds?
Oh yeah, obviously all of them except for the last
Yeah, I
one.
did.
All of them, all 26?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Pierce
You
Brosnan
are
is still the
fucking
best
committed.
James Bond in my
Here,
opinion.
let me name them for you.
Which one,
Have you seen
Ken?
Dr. No or From Russia with
Pierce
Love
Brosnan.
or Goldfinger or Thunderball
Oh,
or
yeah.
You Only Live Twice
I've
or
never
Honor
watched
Majesty's
any of
Secret
them.
Service?
Yeah.
You've never watched any of them? What?
Jay and I had that thing. I'm like, I've watched all of them. Even when you got to the part of the song where you're talking about Casino Royale, I was thinking, like, is he going to talk about the comic version? And then you did the comedy one at the end. I was like, man, I love this song.
Yeah, I tried to nail a lot of research in there. I made up a lot of facts too, but it's so funny. I'm
Lindsay,
working on getting that song down to less than a minute. I'm just gonna sing it double time, so I can fit it into some longer sets.
Excuse me, my boyfriend's busy talking about himself as usual.
So Ken and Chris will get this song, Lindsay, if you do it.
But
Yeah,
Lindsay,
sing it because I love James Bond. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I'm
Chris
just the author, not the performer. I don't actually.
Yeah, I was thinking. I remember
Do
that
it.
you helped write that, didn't you? Right? You.
No one wrote it. It's just a chronological listing of all the James Bond songs. Eon Productions wrote that song. I think I have to credit them.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for Lindsay to do her. Lindsay, do your jokes.
Okay. So
Come on.
this is a bad pickup line. Okay, Jay, I hate you.
I'm just listening.
Everybody does.
You must be a bitch because you the best in show. See, they're bad. They're so bad.
No, they're hilarious. I don't.
Okay.
Did you get? Ken and Chris don't get it because they're not American.
They don't.
Okay.
But I thought bitch. Oh, they don't get best in show. Okay, I get.
Yeah, there's an American dog show, and the best dog wins best in show. And
Wait, they never saw the movie Best in Show. They never saw.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that one's kind of
Nah.
funny. I think I saw pieces of it.
Jokes are funnier when you have to explain them anyway.
Fuck you.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's try the other one. Okay, so there is this crazy thing that white people do. That you can go online and you can buy a piece of a star. And all these people think that, they have this great, thing that they now own. What if actually they really just all own a fraction of the same star? Just a teeny tiny piece. It's all the same star. Yeah. No, I'm not a comedian, guys.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think how you expand that into it's like an astrological pyramid scheme. Some guy is he's selling the same damn star over and over and over. It's like the new Brooklyn Bridge. This guy is selling the same star over and over and over.
Ken, do you
I think that has legs.
that program? Do you guys have that program where people buy stars and name them after people?
No, I didn't know that was a concept.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Oh, 100%
Sounds a bit retarded.
Yeah. I want to hear.
Are we talking about actual stars?
Yeah, like actual stars in the sky.
The fucking sky stars, man.
So what I want to hear,
Why?
I want to hear about people that have star envy. That look at their next door neighbor whose husband bought her a big white dwarf star, and their husband only bought them like a yellow giant or something. They're like,
yeah, that's funny.
My only conflict with that is who said these people own these stars now? Who owns these stars?
Yeah.
That's my big conflict with the whole situation.
Right.
Because guess what? My wife wanted me to buy her one.
Buy her star? Yeah.
It's not happening.
Exactly. Okay, so here's another one. Okay. My boyfriend has the same name as my dad. But it's okay. It's not awkward. I just call them both daddy.
Oh.
No.
That's a good joke.
That's a good
That
joke.
was a good joke. That was a good joke. Look at Kent. He's like, let me fix my hair.
You could go darker though. You could go darker.
Hey, buy me a star and I'll call you daddy too.
Well, no, I'm just thinking like my boyfriend boyfriend and my dad have the same name, but it's actually great because I don't get confused. I don't get confused when I'm sleeping with them. I use the same name.
My girlfriend has the same name as my brother. They even spell it the same. It's really awkward calling out her name when she's fucking me in the ass.
Holy shit.
You know what they say?
Gosh.
Comedy is best with a little incest.
That is true. Oh my gosh. That is true. Like, I don't get it, but people do laugh a lot.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to say...
I don't have anything else. I have the quarantine one I'm trying to work that, we shouldn't end quarantine because I've gotten accustomed to not seeing everyone's ugly face. Can you please keep the mask on?
Hey, I think we should all go to
everybody.
China.
Everybody has pretty eyes.
I don't know, James. Some people only have a pretty eye.
Have you ever been walking around? You ever been walking around with a mask and you're walking by a stranger and you want to give them that nonchalant smile that you give to strangers that you pass, and you don't realize till after you pass them that they have no idea that you just smiled at them.
Right.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
That's right.
That does happen.
You can stick your tongue out at them, no worries.
I spit on them.
Oh god, that's awesome. Fucking James, you're such Oh gosh. Oh, I was gonna see. James made me forget what I was gonna say about.
Sorry.
I was gonna tell a joke. I forgot what it was, but now I'm like, fuck. That's what happens when you don't write it down.
That's right.
Oh man.
What's that joke? It must not have been important.
It wasn't.
Do you ever see that Steve Martin bit where he's like, I always hate people that are so obnoxious, and he's like, oh, I was thinking of something I was going to tell you. Well, it must not have been important. Oh, now I remember. I'm radioactive, asshole.
That was a good impression too.
Wasn't he sounded like a white guy? Oh gosh. But I will say one thing I do hope is this whole rioting thing turns into like the Boston Tea Party,
Yeah, I already posted about that. Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so I was gonna tell you guys. See, that's what I was gonna say. I did write this down, James. You'll be happy. So I want to do this drunken history thing, right? But they don't do the show anymore, so I can't do it. So, but I'm not rich and I'm not white. It was a white guy with a bunch of white people. It was weird.
Just reach out to that guy that hosted it. What was his fucking name? Contact him through fucking Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Tell him to bring it back.
I would, because I wrote this sober. I said, here it is, people who don't see why the looting and the burning of shit down. There's this thing called the Boston Tea Party. That's the white people's version of Black Lives Matter, right?
Right.
People were like, yo, taxes are unfair. That group stopped buying tea. Peaceful protest, right? The standing government said, F you, no tea from anywhere else but us. So these tea addicts were like, wait, what? But the tax, it's unfair. But then there were still these other people who were like, but I still want tea and I still like tea and I support the crown. So they kept buying this tea from the standing government, paying the taxes. But these other guys were like, no, this is unfair. And if you keep buying the tea and paying the taxes, the tax will never end. So these people were like, fuck the government, fuck these tea addicts. And they did the Boston Tea Party and started burning shit down and dumping tea in the harbor.
Right.
Yep.
So, like, they were like, let's burn this shit down because we're tired of the government and this tyranny and taxation without representation, blah, blah, blah. And then, so, all right, follow me on this part. Black men are being killed by police officers. People run, march, protest, kneel, listen to unlawful orders from the police, on and on and on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all these people keep lashing out like, this isn't the right time. He's a football player. What does he know? And then he's trying to disrespect vets. I'm going to insert an eye roll here as a vet.
Right.
And then say, disrespect is what the murderer's doing. So kind of like slavery, right? Slaves were all like, hey, master dude, can I have freedom? No? Hey, master dude, can I pay for my freedom? And then he was like, no. And then he's like, hey, master dude, guess I'll have to fight for this shit. William Sherman, when in doubt, burn him out.
That's it.
White Boston colonist lives matter.
That's right.
that was the hashtag.
So my thing is, I was doing that all yesterday, comparing the Boston Tea Party to Minneapolis, and people would come back and say, no, the Boston Tea Party was a political statement. It wasn't looting. And I'm like, oh, you're telling me that not any of the tea went home with any of those guys? Nobody stuck a few pounds of tea in their pocket? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm sure they went without their tea. No, fuck that.
That's
A
hilarious.
handful of the tea disappeared that day.
Yeah, it's like all the tea can't be accounted for. It's like,
you sure we dumped it all?
that's right.
Ken, what is comparable to the Boston Tea Party in Luxembourg?
If I knew what it was, I could tell you.
We're not the only ones that don't learn about world history.
Ken, are you telling me you don't know our history? What are they teaching you guys? I don't understand.
We know all about Luxembourg.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I have no idea because for like half of the story, I thought it was a brunch. So I have no idea, bro.
Okay, so wait, you're not originally from Luxembourg. You're originally from France, right?
No, that's just Deepu that says that all the time. But that's not true.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, je parle français en fait, mais on s'en fout, c'est pas grave.
I don't think I can respond. I think I just know that one sentence.
Just say oui, James. Just say oui. Just say oui.
Oui, je suis d'accord. No, the thing is, I'm born here. I'm born here in Luxembourg. My dad is Belgian, and my mom is from French and Algeria. But I'm born here.
So you're a mutt.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm born from a bukkake, basically.
No.
From
Does that mean something different in Belgium?
Oh shit.
No, but it's a bad translation of a joke that I do in French.
Okay.
Let's just put it that way.
Hear it in English now.
In French, it's funny.
French is funny.
Thank you for the support, man.
That's awesome.
Because I was telling somebody that I used to date a Persian girl, and she would teach me dirty stuff, and then she would just teach me odd words, and so like popcorn in Farsi is called Josephil, and the direct translation of Josephil is elephant farts. So I'm like, really? It's like that's what they think elephants farts look like these puffs of white coming out of the back of an elephant. And
Depends on what the elephant did before, I guess.
I know, right? And shit is Ann. So if your name is Ann in the United States, they think you're shit.
Oh, damn.
Funny story. Elephant semen actually looks exactly like popcorn. Google it.
It looks like it looks like 5 gallons of popcorn, but it looks like popcorn.
That's a small at the theater.
That's right.
Oh gosh.
Can I get that with cheese on it? I guess it depends on how the female elephant has been douching, right?
Oh god.
Can
Oh
you imagine
man.
being the person that had to douche an elephant?
What?
How
I
big?
would say, Kent, do you know?
Seen a YouTube video where an elephant sits on a guy's head?
What?
Yeah,
See that?
yeah.
Unintentionally. I didn't search it out.
It just came up as one of my favorite things to watch.
It was just James. I didn't search it out. It just happened one night late when I wasn't wearing pants and I was on the internet.
When you're looking at animal porn, you wouldn't believe the random stuff you see.
Just popped up. Well, I used to do
Holy
this.
shit.
Used to do this joke that I got my first porn pop-up ad, so I just decided, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going through pop-up after pop-up after pop-up after pop-up until I reached the final end of the internet, and it was this white guy in a white room jerking off on a white rabbit, and then the internet just shut down. That was it.
I thought you were going to say there were a bunch of horny singles waiting for you at the end.
No. Just a guy jerking off on a rabbit, and then that was it. The internet just shut off.
You've seen it all.
Awesome.
So,
Oh
The
man.
internet is over.
I've been to the end. I've been all the way.
Kent's been to the end too.
That's it. Morpheus has got nothing on me. I've gone all the way through.
Oh god. So I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I gotta get ready for this other thing. It's all females, which is nice because being.
Can I wear a dress and do a female mic?
I feel like with your hair the way it is, I mean it's longer than mine. My opening thing is gonna be like, hey, I'm not a 12-year-old boy that just snuck into the room. I'm a female lesbian. So
you could do that, James. You can do that Garp thing. Like in the World According to Garp when he had to dress like a woman to go to his mom's funeral. You got something nice to put on? Matching shoes?
I thought about it, just putting on a dress and calling myself trans to get more mics.
Oh.
I feel like that would be nice.
How many pantsuits can a lesbian wear before she's considered trans?
I remember I was like, how many? I thought there was a number.
It's 5.
5? Yeah. Now,
Actually, my wife
have you
wanted me to
Googled
do
that?
a
Do you have
pantsuit
something
today.
to back that up? That number?
No. I was worried it was borderline offensive, so I told Jay Marie I had a joke that had the word lesbian, and I wanted to know if it was funny. She didn't get it. She said, how many? It was rhetorical.
Hey, Jay Marie, I've got this joke with lesbian in it. Can I run it by you to see if it's offensive? Oh, this fucking lesbian was at a bar, and never mind.
So I do have a question for everyone is a man except for Lindsay. But so
Hey, you want to see my cock?
I knew it. He's always talking about dicks in his ass. I knew this was real.
Didn't you notice she's sitting with her legs spread apart?
This is on YouTube, right?
Yeah. But no, what was I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. You guys got me all on focus. God damn it. I hate doing shit with you.
I think it had something to do with
You were going to
lesbians.
end it so you could go do something with your girl.
Right.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna do something funny, but anyway, it's pretty funny because I used to be this kind of person that was like James, right? Like people would have husbands.
You mean a dude?
and-
What?
no. People would have husbands, and then all of a sudden they'd have a girlfriend. That'd be weird. Anyway, it was me.
All right.
But
Well, this has been a fucking waste of time.
I don't
so
even
I'm
have
just
a
gonna leave.
husband.
I know, right? Damn it, James! You
This has been a total waste of time. So I guess I'll leave now. So,
I know. Thanks for ending it, Chip. You guys are awesome. Hey, it was fun.
Hey, nice seeing all you guys.
yeah, fun hanging out.
I'll send actual topics, but Chris and Ken were supposed to host this, but that's cool.
See, I wasn't even invited.
It's your turn.
I just happened along. I just saw.
So we can vote now for a topic for next week, and we can make jokes all week about it.
Here, let me end this.
That's a great idea.
Let me end it first, guys. You guys are kind of like jumping this thing. Okay, Comedic Roundtable. See you guys go. What? Yeah, pretty much. Or